Hey everyone, I am author Kathryn Andrews, and I'd like to say thanks for dropping by Sinfully Sexy, and thanks to Simply Sexy for asking me to join you today. Today is a very exciting day for me. Today is August 11th, 2014, and it is the official release date for my debut novel, Drops of Rain. I've worked very hard on this novel, and I'm very excited to introduce it to the world. I thought I would get started off by answering 3 quick questions. I've had a lot of questions thrown at me over the last couple of weeks, and these 3 seem to be the most common. The first one would be, who is the target audience for Drops of Rain? And I would have to say anyone who loves a good romance. I am a romance girl at heart. I love to read them, I love to write them, and now I get to share them. So if you love a good emotional roller coaster ride, you will find this book on Amazon, Nook, and iBooks under Romance and Contemporary Romance. Second, this book is written in first person, and I also wrote it in a dual point of view. I love when I'm reading a story and I am in the heads of both characters. I think it keeps it from being one-sided, and it completes the story a little bit more. So that's how I wrote mine, in a dual point of view. And lastly, I've been asked what's unique about my books or what's a fun fact about my book. And I would have to say that most all of my books, the setting is Anna Maria Island, Florida. It is one of my favorite places in the whole world. We vacation there every summer. In addition, we do drive down and just lay out for the day with the kids. We take them to the beach. But it is beautiful, and it is quaint, and it's quiet. So that is a setting in quite a few of my books that are coming to you. And also, you will find that some way, somehow, there are characters that connect in all of my books. This first series, there are 3 books. It's the Hale Brothers series. Each one is about a different brother. But you may find down the road that somebody who works in a cafe, someone that they rent a house from, or someone that they work with, they may be characters that fall in line with other books that I have in the future. So I love connecting the books, here and there, just a little bit of the way. So those are some fun facts. Now, I thought that I would do a little bit of a reading. So when I said to myself, what should I read? I decided to start from the beginning. I know some people will start in the middle and they'll do an excerpt of a specific scene, but for me, I think it's important for you to connect with the characters right off the bat. And if you don't know the characters, it just doesn't kind of flow. So I thought I would start with a prologue, roll right into chapter 1, and then cut it off. So let's get started. Okay, Drops of Rain, prologue. 2 words. That's all I was given, that's all that was said. I knew this moment was coming, and I didn't really expect much to happen. Well, maybe I did a little, but it was the silence of the moment that I can't seem to forget. The silence is so loud that I can actually hear the air ringing off of my eardrums. I went to throw my hands over my ears to make it stop. 2 words, 8 letters that have forever changed my life. I thought that I would feel different. I don't know why. I'm sure it's coming, the difference. But at this moment, I really don't feel like anything has changed. This moment looks just like the moment an hour ago, and I suspect that in 1 hour from now, the moment will look the same. Or maybe it won't. I think maybe I'm frozen in this moment. My father sits next to me in the other high-backed chair. I can see him out of the corner of my eye, and he leans over with his elbows on his knees and his head is dropped down. Soft piano music plays. It comes from somewhere in the background. They play for her. My mother always loved the piano. The sunlight streaks rays through the window into the room. Dust particles swirl around in the air. My hands are down next to me, and my fingers keep rubbing the fabric of the chair. Back and forth, back and forth. The fabric feels almost like velvet, so soft. I officially hate velvet. I continue to watch the dust swirl, and somewhere in the background voices murmur. I don't know what they are saying. The ringing in my ears has turned to more of a thumping. My pulse, my heartbeat. I focus on the thumping and the dust. Someone touches my shoulder, and it breaks me from my frozen moment. I turn to look up and see my father. I can't help but notice the dark rings under his eyes. He looks like he's aged so much recently. How did I not notice this before? He shouldn't look like this. He's only 39. It's then that I realize the moment has changed. Everything has changed. My heartbeat drops from my ears to my chest, and as I look around, it begins to pound faster and harder. The imprint of the dragonfly on my skin burns. A hole is being burned straight into my heart. The room has gone dark, the dust has disappeared, and my eyes begin to blur with tears. The music isn't playing, and she isn't here anymore. 2 little words. She's gone. Chapter 1. Allie. 27 days. That's how long it has been since I've talked to her, hugged her, smiled at her, seen her. She consumes almost all of my thoughts as if she is still here, but she isn't. I stand on the beach and I look out to the horizon and the beacon lights from a few ships shine back at me. I breathe in the cool freshness of the morning air and remind myself once again, I am not on vacation and she is gone. Dad decided after her funeral that instead of trying to move forward with our lives, it would be best for him and me if we just move on. Let's start over, he said. Within 3 weeks, he sold our home in Denver, found a new one on the beach in Florida, and had movers come in and pack up all of our belongings. He transferred offices for work and registered me to a new high school for my senior year. I really didn't get a say in any of this. Just like that, my entire life changed. I'm not quite sure why I never saw this coming. I should have. Once someone you love dies, nothing is really the same ever again. I've officially been living in my new house, in a new town, in a new state for 3 days. I look up and down the beach of Anna Maria Island. There are a few people out, a couple of other runners, and a few elderly women looking for shells while drinking their coffee. I can tell that mornings here are going to be my favorite time of the day. Mom always loved the beach. I remember her saying over the years that when my father retired, she wanted to live on the beach. The question is, why didn't we? If it's possible for us to now, why didn't we then? It also makes me wonder why we didn't go to the beach more often. We took vacations at least twice a year, but they were always to places like New York City, Seattle, or New Orleans. Dad liked cities, and he thought it was important that I was exposed to culture. But what about what my mom wanted? Maybe by him moving us here, this was his way of giving her something that she always wanted. I reach up and rub the dragonfly charm that hangs from a silver necklace. Over the last week of my mother's life, she began to drift in and out of consciousness. She gradually became less responsive to our touches and to our voices. 3 days before she died, she quietly told me she loved me and asked that my father go ahead and give me my gift. By the time he returned, she had fallen back asleep, only this time was the last time. She never woke again. The charm and the necklace had been placed in a black velvet box, and it was wrapped in silver wrapping paper and tied up with a blue ribbon. The charm of the dragonfly isn't very large, maybe about 1 inch in size, but what's striking about it are the royal blue Swarovski crystals that make up its body and tail. It is delicate, elegant, and I love it. Attached to the gift was a letter. My darling daughter Allie, I love you. I want you to know that you have been the light of my life and that you have given me more precious memories than one person should be allowed. This is my wish for you. I hope that you will experience a life filled with dancing, kindness, adventure, and love. Dragonflies are known to live their life to the fullest. Whenever you see one, I want you to hear me saying, it's time to let go. You are always so serious and focused. Sometimes you need to look for a little joy. Lighten up your life and make it brighter. Seek out some happiness because you, my darling girl, deserve to live each day smiling with not only your eyes, but your heart too. Think of me like you think of the wind. You can't see it, but you can feel it. I will always be with you. I love you, Mom. In the weeks following her death, I did a lot of research on dragonflies. It wasn't like I was asking the big questions and looking for the meaning of life, but I was looking for symbolism. It's the last thing that she gave me, and for that reason, I needed to know all I could and why. I read once, because the dragonfly evolves from growing in the water to moving through the air, it's supposed to show wisdom when it comes to transformation and adaptability in life. I can only hope that I'll be granted this wisdom too. I feel as if I am evolving in reverse, from the air in Denver to the water of Florida. The beach feels different this morning than it did yesterday. I try to pinpoint the changes, but all I can really come up with is that today it is more accepting, more inviting, more captivating. I drop my iPad on my towel, fold over the edge to hide it, and take off running towards the tip of the island. As much as I love music this morning, I just need to feel the peace of the water as it washes up on the shore and the soft sounds of the seagulls as they fly overhead. My heart pounds in my chest, and I can't tell the difference between the ache from my mother and the ache from the exertion. I push myself harder to go faster, keeping my feet in line with the packed sand that's left behind by the receding tide. I don't even mind the slight downward slope of the beach. It just makes me push harder. By the time I'm finished with the run, I need to head inside to get ready for school, but the water looks so inviting. Kicking off my shoes and socks, I strip down to my sports bra and underwear and walk into the water. It's cool, refreshing, and calms my overheated skin. Turning around, I face towards the beach and I fall straight backward. My ears slip under the water, muting everything, leaving only the peace and quiet that I need this morning. Floating on my back, staring up at the sky, I want to laugh at how surreal all this seems. 5 days ago, I was sitting on our back deck staring at the Rocky Mountains. 4 days ago, I was somewhere in the middle of the southern states. And today, I'm here living in Florida, swimming in the Gulf of Mexico. Strangely enough, I feel at home here. Maybe it's just the acceptance, or maybe I've begun to realize how adaptable my life really is. Suddenly, something crashes into me, pulling me down, and water rushes over my head. I'm further out than I thought, and my toes don't reach the bottom. Frantically, I kick my feet out to free myself and push on whatever has hit my stomach. It's an arm, and that fear turns to panic. Thoughts of drowning flash in my mind. The arm moves, and I scramble to break the surface of the water, gasping for air. I'm not a very good swimmer. And that's where I'll pause. If you want to know what happens to her and what hit her in the water, you'll just have to click yourself over to Amazon and check out Drops of Rain. So, thanks so much for dropping by again. Thank you again. Bye.